Coach, I think we need to start with your jacket. Not only does it look fantastic on the outside, but BYU fans are going to love the tribute to Mike Leach on the inside.
Awesome. Yeah, no doubt. You know, I tell everybody, I'm a high school coach. I've never been anywhere else but the state of Texas, and I think there's very few coaches that have had more influence the game of football, not only at the college level but at the high school level. I mean, you can go anywhere every Friday night and see some kind of Mike Leach influence whenever it comes to offensive football in the state of Texas. And so, you know, it's kind of a tip of the hat to him and what he meant to Texas Tech, but also what he meant to high school football in this state. And so, you know, I didn't know him very well. But I feel like I know him and know him even better every time I hear stories here at Texas Tech. So just tip of the hat to Coach Leach.
We were crushed, obviously, when he passed away. And he was a BYU student, but he never actually played football. And then he would come back every year, and every year he's gotten increasingly better LinkedIn as time went on, and his influence is still here. Now BYU's in this league, and we're so excited to be with Texas Tech and all the teams. What's your kind of sense of what BYU and the other three bring to the league now?
Well, starting with y'all, man, y'all bring a logo that carries a lot of weight nationally. You know, I'm a football fanatic, and, you know, just going back and watching Detmer and what he did, you know, and him being from
Texas
Mission.
Guy. Let's go.
Yeah, Mission, Texas, you know. And so, you know, I just think through so many great times and watching BYU football and the games that y'all played in. And so I think it's absolutely tremendous for the conference. I'm a huge fan of y'all's head coach. He's got phenomenal energy. In 2021, I was still at Baylor, and so we got to play. It was really cool to see how y'all traveled, because there was a lot of blue in that stadium that day. And so really tough game, really physical. I love that brand of football. I think it's going to be really good for the Big 12. And so really exciting. I actually spoke at the clinic. Bronco Mendenhall was the head coach at the time, and I've never been to a game there, but I'm really excited to play there. One, because of your fan base, but two, it's absolute beautiful setting for a football game, and so I'm excited about that. Man, you're talking about there's no layups in this conference. It is competitive every single week, and you're bringing in 4 teams that, if you think about it, have played in the conference championships over the last few years. A team, I've already talked about y'all, but then you turn around Cincinnati, who's played in the Final Four. And so you're bringing in some really, really good football teams and some really good football coaches. And so I'm really excited, because I think it only builds our brand and what our commissioner's doing. And y'all heard him yesterday. There's nobody better in the business.
Let's go.
And the dude's got some juice, man.
I know. It's awesome.
I think that's why they don't put me and him on the same day. I don't know which one has more juice, me or him.
We can't handle that much energy.
Right.
No.
Let's not peak in day one. Let's keep going to day 2.
We love it. We love the energy you're bringing to the show. I do want to talk about just the emergence of Texas Tech, and I'm almost hesitant to use cliches, but the term of dark horse has been discussed for Texas Tech as a Big 12 title contender this year. What's gone into building towards this for this season?
You know, just huge buy-in from very early. And I always tell everybody, and you know, I've got 5 of my best here, and they were 5 of the quickest to buy in. You know, and when your best players buy in that early, you have the opportunity to really build something. We have 18 starters coming back from the bowl game. And so when you bring that much experience back, again, you have an opportunity to build. But we understand, you know, what we're getting into and who we're playing every single week. And so we're going to have to do a really good job of you know, continually stay hungry, stay humble. We got to be healthy, but we got to focus on ourselves. I mean, that's one thing, you know, that, again, cliche. I mean, that is cliche, but at the end of the day, it is. I mean, when you start looking across the field and you start looking at logos and stuff like that, you kind of forget what you have to do, or you make something bigger than what it is. And so that's one thing that we really try to focus on. They hear it constantly, be the best version of themselves. They know I have a lot of fun. I'm a jokester. I have high energy. But when we step in between the lines, there's nothing personal. I'm going to push these guys to be their very best, and they understand that, and that's what's great. They bought into it.
Do you like the dark horse moniker? Or are you like, hey, can't we just be a straight-up contender?
I just like the expectation. You'd rather be on that end. I mean, whenever people don't, I guess it's expecting not a lot from you or expecting you to lose, but, it's really not expectations. So if nothing else, I appreciate the expectations, and that's going to be something that they're going to hear constantly. I always tell everybody I think I'm a PowerPoint guru. I don't know if these guys would agree. I do use I use a PowerPoint almost every day, and I use a lot of different videos, but I have one already ready to go for our very first meeting when we report to camp, and it's going to be talking about expectations and what we have to do to meet them.
You don't bust out the old overhead? Ever?
No. At one point I tried that ladybug or whatever where you put up there. And my handwriting's so bad,
and it's
nobody
bad
can read it. Yeah,
it smears.
No doubt.
Coach, we can't understand.
What is this? Oh, just best version of ourselves? Okay, great.
Yep, no doubt.
I assume the goal is not to have 3 quarterbacks throw for 1,000 yards each.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck's the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy, and it's going to start. Definitely, we have grown as an offensive line. I think that's one thing I'm really excited about. We have some guys back, and then, we were able to add Rusty Stats from the portal, and so he's going to start at center. That allows us to move our center to guard. Dennis Wilburn had never played center before in his life at any level until last year, and he started every single game for us. This is going to take a lot off his plate. That's what he is. He's a natural guard. It's going to bring some of his aggressiveness back, so I'm excited about that. And, Tyler's got to be smart, too. He's got the tough thing about Tyler, he's a tough guy. That's a good thing, but he's a tough guy, and he has a lot of control, so sometimes he calls his own number, and I'm glad he does, but, he's going to have to get down. He's going to have to get out of bounds, and he's still not going to. He's probably, he's got that fullback mentality. Mm-hmm. We saw that in the bowl game, and so we've got to do a good job putting him in good situations, to protect himself, but also be who he is, and you can't take that away from him. I mean, that's kind of who he is.
We call that a Taysom Hill type.
Yeah, no doubt. Man,
you just get out of bounds sometimes, man. He's like, no, I'm just going to go through.
Okay. Yeah, we've seen that. He's one of my favorite players, man. He was actually there whenever I got to see him a little bit because he was there whenever I was speaking at the clinic.
Oh, nice.
Texas saw it twice.
Oh, no doubt. He's a dude, man.
Yeah.
He's a nightmare icon for Texas football fans.
No doubt.
Joey McGuire, the Texas Tech head coach, is with us on BYU Sports Nation. One of the things that we're really enjoying about this implementation into the Big 12 is letting BYU fans know a little bit about, not just football aspects of each of these Big 12 schools, but things behind the scenes. And I want to ask you specifically about the Siegel family. Tim Siegel's longtime tennis coach, 23 years, retired, tragic accident for his son Luke, who became just like this unbelievable inspirational and motivational person for Texas Tech and the alumni base, and really then sports in general. We saw all these major names getting involved, but I thought it was really cool that you honored Luke Siegel's name last year by awarding the number 3 jersey, to someone who deserved it. Is that something that's going to continue for your program moving forward? Or is that a one-time thing?
No, we just awarded it to Bryce Ramirez, who I will tell you, Bryce has a couple years left, and I don't think anybody will take it from him. This is a young man that he is absolutely one of the toughest dudes I've ever been around in my life. North Carolina State, compound fracture, and he'll be playing against Wyoming.
Wow.
I mean, you go back and you think about one of the worst injuries, and he's over there. I come over and, most people would just be going nuts. And he's literally telling me, tell the guys I'm okay, tell the guys I'm okay. And then he turns to our trainer and he goes, are they going to give me any pain meds? That's simple, though. Like, I would have been going nuts, and so it's one of the deals that it's a brand number, the toughest, hardest working, most competitive guy. It's something that with Luke, it's fight like Luke. He was whenever I listened to Tim talk about his son, it was one of the deals with Matt Rule. You have to earn a single digit, and I loved it. I love that when we were together. But one thing with name, image, likeness, and everything, and guys already, taking that number and really kind of capitalizing on that number, I didn't want to take that away from anybody. So I kind of specifically, that was Luke's favorite number, specifically took that number, and it was really cool to see Bryce, and I know Tim was really excited, took some pictures with him a couple of weeks ago, and he'll represent that number definitely, not only for Texas Tech, but in memory of Luke.
And let's finish with this. You have two talented kids. What are you feeding them? Garrett is a 24-year-old youngest FBS assistant in Nebraska, and then Reagan is a fashion designer. Taylor Swift has worn some of her stuff on the Eras tour.
Oh yeah.
That's
Mom.
Amazing.
It's all Mom. They got all the talent from their mama. I promise you.
That's amazing. Have you worn any of her stuff?
I haven't. Debbie has. She hasn't done. She works for a company called Amber, and that's more of the female side and everything. She always tells me she'll do stuff for me if I wanted to, but I always tell her brother. I mean, her brother, because of the world that we live in football, everybody's always talking about him. But I say your sister's more talented, bro.
That's big time.
Yeah,
that's big time.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, if you want to crank some T Swift in the locker room pregame, we're good with that.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know if these guys will like that. I kind of let them.
Would you guys like that? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Hands up?
Might like a little.
Hands up?
Taj might be a Swiftie. Yeah. I don't know.
Tyler Shuck says yes, so it's a go.
There you go.
I love it. Coach, thanks for the time. Thanks for the energy and the insight into Texas Tech football.
Thank you, man. Welcome to the conference. I'm so excited you are here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're excited to come there because I know your fan base is going to be absolutely incredible, and it's going to be a war, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be what football's all about. Two tough teams really getting after each other.
We're looking forward to October 21st. Thanks again, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.